Welcome to Fighting Internet Nonsense. There's a lot of nonsense out there, so we're going to look at some facts and data and get to the bottom of it. This one is on wealth. All right, some key facts on wealth inequality. So, long-term trend been rising since the 80s. The top 1% own about one-third of the entire economy. So, stocks, bonds, real estate, all of it. Driven by quite a few factors: low tax on capital gains, reduced estate taxes, lower marginal rates. Marginal rates were 90% in the 50s and 60s. That's come down to the upper 30s. So big changes there. Top 10% of income earners own 93% of the stock market. So again, top 10% owns 93, almost the entire stock market. On an income basis, being the 1%, you need to make 591,000. On the other side of the equation, wealth for the not 1% has been coming down slightly. They are making more than you did decades ago. So on an absolute basis, people are doing better than they were a long time ago. You look at the 50s and 60s, people had 1,000 square foot houses and one car. Very few people went to college. So on an absolute basis, people are doing better, but the wealthy have grabbed a huge amount of that income gain over the last couple decades. However, in the last 4 years, big gains in the middle class, up 40%. The median average, the median person, it's not the average. Me and Betsy DeVos have 5 yachts on average, but the median person, that person right in the middle, is up about 40%. For young Americans, it's up about 50%. Again, that's a combination of housing and stocks. All right, so we're gonna go through a fun little example. So let's say I was a valedictorian in my class, top 1%, top number one. Um, I would have one-third of the wealth. So a third of the houses, third of the cars, third of the businesses. I'd have all that. Now, the next 9 people in my class would have another 40%. So the top 10 has around 70%, owns 70% of the houses, 70% of the cars, 70% of the business, 70% of everything. Top 10 people in our graduating class, there's 100 people. Top 10 people own all of that. Um, the next, so everyone up to the 50th percentile owns about another 30%. So that top half owns 97% of the economy. The bottom half of the graduating class owns just 2.5%. 2.5%. So again, top 10 own 70%, and the bottom half own 2.5%. A little crazy. Um, Another fun fact: if you want to be a billionaire, you made $5,000 every single day, you'd have to start in the year 1546. So $1 billion, it's a lot of money. So a couple key takeaways. The wealthy United States are insanely wealthy. To be in the top 1%, you need to make over $13 million. They do pay a lot of taxes, income taxes. So remember, there's lots of different kinds of taxes. You see, all the wealthy pay half the taxes, top 1%. That's true, income taxes, but there's sales tax, payroll tax, Medicare, Social Security. So like when we look at the overall basis, that effective tax rate, which is the graph right there, that's come down. So they're paying less taxes overall than they were decades ago. Um, and taxes are a major problem of rich people. So keep that in mind. Lastly, I went in on this little cartoon. This is Rupert Murdoch in the middle saying, "Careful, mate, look out for that foreigner," with his giant plate full of cookies, and the construction worker has literally one cookie. But this is just really representative, and I think a great encapsulation of modern politics. So again, Rupert Murdoch, Australian, who owns Fox News and a couple tabloids in the British press. I said facts and data. I can send you the links. Here's a list of the links. This is, you can Google this, look up wealth inequality. Super easy to find information, very well documented, all over the place. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching Fighting Internet Nonsense.